and welcome to the program today. I'm Layo Olarinde. African leaders have ushered in the new year with calls for peace and unity, focusing on the challenges confronting their nations and the broader region while expressing hope and stability and cooperation in 2025. Beginning with Kenya, President William Ruto acknowledged the significant challenges his country faced in 2024, including economics, insecurity, climatic adversity, and security concerns. In his New Year's address for 2025, he highlights the government's efforts to improving food security through increased agricultural productivity and the digitization of public services to improve efficiency, while also calling for peace throughout the continent. South Sudan's President Salva Kiir focused on the outgoing Tumaini Initiative peace negotiations in Nairobi, the Kenyan capital, imploring compromise and accommodation to all parties and is urging leaders to prioritize unity and peace over politics. Here in West Africa, Niger's Transitional President General Abdurrahmane Tichiani pledged his country's commitment to good neighborly relations within West Africa and around the world. Highlighting the creation of the Confederation Alliance of Sahel States, General Tichiani urged citizens to uphold cultural values as well as to be vigilant against external influence. Fellow junta leader, Burkina Faso's transitional president, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, expressed hope for the Confederation as a symbol of justice and sovereignty that will be an example for peace, sovereignty, and dignity. In Southern Africa, Zambia's President, Hakainde Hichilema, reaffirmed his government's willingness to engage in constructive dialogue with opposition groups. Namibia's President Ngolo Mumba expressed hope for peace in Sudan, the Sahel, and Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, while Botswana's President Duma Boko, who is celebrating his first new year in office, has urged citizens to end gender-based violence and promote compassion. Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has expressed his optimism that the year 2025 will be better for the country, even as the country is on a path to sustained growth. He was speaking in Lagos after meeting with President Bola Tinubu at his residence. The Vice President said the country has turned the corner and the economy is starting to pick up.
I'm highly optimistic about tomorrow. I believe we have turned the corner, and inshallah we shall have a very robust economic activities in the new year. I believe Nigerians will prosper. The economy has started picking up, and in the coming weeks and months, Nigerians will start smiling for the better. We are working assiduously with the National Assembly to come up with robust solutions to our national challenges. There is no nation that is immune to the economic headwinds across the world. The crisis in Ukraine and so many other global trends are affecting us adversely because we are part of the global community. But I want to assure Nigerians that the economy is turning the corner. Sure. By the grace of God, we have crossed the Rubicon and we are on a path to sustain growth. We wish Nigerians well.
In Côte d'Ivoire, Ivorians in Abidjan have welcomed President Alassane Ouattara's decision to end the French military presence in the country. However, some others caution against hasty changes in the West African country's relations with its former colonial power. President Ouattara announced on Tuesday that French forces would withdraw from the country, continuing France's military exit from the region. Well, some citizens praised President Ouattara's diplomatic approach, seeing the move as timely. Some others acknowledge an ongoing need for French expertise in technology and security, particularly given regional challenges such as the threat of jihadist violence. The announcement follows similar French military withdrawals from Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger amid rising anti-French sentiment. This made some citizens warn against mimicking other African nations' actions towards France without careful consideration. In East Africa, a Kenyan court has ordered the release of Senator Okiya Otata and dozens others arrested during anti-abduction protests in Nairobi. The court rejected the police's bid to detain protesters for 14 days. According to police, the requested measure was necessary to proceed with the investigations alleging incitement to violence and civil disobedience. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, warned that the protesters might continue to disrupt social order if released. Well, earlier this week, during a demonstration in Nairobi's central business district, the detainees demanded an end to the rising wave of abductions in Kenya. According to opposition groups, at least 82 people have disappeared since the start of the youth-led protest movement against the administration's finance bill in the summer.
State have failed to prove that the investigation would call for limitation of respondents' liberty and require them to facilitate or to conduct investigations. However, I would wish to point out that justice demands thorough investigation, and at the end of the day, if investigations reveal that the respondents are not culpable, justice will have been served, and the course of justice, therefore, will not be a smooth ride. And based on that, I will allow that I'll make the following orders: that the 23 respondents hearing will be released on bond.
We want an end to abductions, and that end begins with the unconditional release of all abducted individuals. Is that not only have Kenyans been abducted, but foreign nationals have been abducted, and documents produced in foreign courts that they were abducted with the complicity of the Kenyan state, or rather, maybe not the Kenyan state, but the Ruto regime.
Still in Kenya, a metallic object weighing approximately 500 kilograms and measuring about 2 meters in diameter crashed into Mukuku village located in Makueni County. According to the Kenya Space Agency, preliminary assessments suggest that this object is a separation ring from a rocket launch vehicle. The KSA responded to the incident by securing the crash site and retrieving the debris for further analysis and investigations on the origin of the fallen object. There are no reported casualties or significant damages resulting from this incident, and the agency is also reassuring the public that the debris does not pose an immediate threat to safety.
Indeed, we can confirm we've located the item. The area locals should not be scared. It is a part of a space object, which is in form of a ring, a metallic ring, possibly from a rocket separation stage. We are to assess the impact to the area, identify whose space object it is, so that we can use the existing legal mechanisms under international law, as far as the Outer Space Treaty is concerned, to look and to find a way to first get the person and bring him to the responsibility of his space object. The plate ring, I will call it the plate ring that has fallen here, is just 1 in a million, because rarely will you see this coming down, because oftenly they will burn before coming down to the earth surface.
There was a very quick response from members or from officers from Kenya Space Agency, who have assured us as a community that there is no cause of alarm. We are safe, and we take your word that we are safe.
Joining us now is Kenyan journalist Cyrus Ombati for more on New Year celebrations in Kenya. Hello, Cyrus. Good to see you in this new year. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you all.
You and other Kenyans celebrating the new year?
Well, celebrations were all over, from churches, from gatherings, many social gatherings, from State House in a place called PC. So everyone had his own way of ushering the new year. People were in churches, people were in clubs, people were in other social gatherings to usher in the new year. They started deemed right for them.
Well, talk to us more about President William Ruto's New Year address. We know he's had some setbacks, so to speak, concerning the anti-abduction protests that we've seen earlier this week. And even since last year, there had been protests over his finance bill and so many other things that came out from that. Talk to us about what is his mission for the year 2025 and in really putting the minds of Kenyans at rest about his administration's work.
Well, the president had a mix of issues which he addressed about in his speech. He was giving hope that this year things may be better in terms of economic well-being among Kenyans. And then he talked about the issues of abduction. He was talking about the family kind of a fabric which is supposed to nurture the youth who are abusing him and his government on social media. Then he talked about the performance he had last year. Of course, remember there are protests all over the country since June up to this time. There have been protests here and there. Even up to now, as we are speaking, people are planning more protests because the issue of abduction has not gone away. The people who are abducted, especially in December, have not been released so far, and activists are planning to stage more protests in the coming days to push for the release of these people who are being held. The president was optimistic that Kenyan economy will do better as compared to last year, but then there are those who are saying no, that there's nothing which has happened that will make things better. This year, as we are seeing, there will be more political division in the country. People are preparing for election 2027, and as much as it's almost 2 years ago away. But then when you look at things as they are, it's all about politics in the country, from the national, the regional level. So in as much as the president is trying to make things look in a united way to forge economically and socially, other people are pulling apart. Today, as we are speaking, he was hosting President Museveni here in Kenya with the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and he was preaching the same issue about unity and socio-economic well-being of the country. So there's hope that things may be better, but then it's a wait and see.
Indeed. I mean, this is just the second day of 2025. We'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, Cyrus Ombati, Kenyan journalist. Happy New Year to you once again.
Happy New Year to you all.
Let's head over to Burundi now. Opposition figures in the country say they have been blocked by the Electoral Commission from standing in upcoming elections. Earlier this week, the Independent National Electoral Commission, CENI, ruled that candidates belonging to a four-party Burundi for All coalition, recognized by the Interior Ministry, would be excluded from standing. Candidates for the coalition would be unable to run because 3 of its members belong to the suspended opposition party, the National Freedom Council, in contradiction to electoral laws. Well, the East African nation will head to the ballot box in June to elect local officials. Now, thousands of Mozambican refugees are flocking to Tengani, southern Malawi, in an attempt to find shelter and safety in the community following their escape from the ongoing violent protests in Mozambique over election results. Refugees queue on the Mozambique-Malawi border to get asylum for their families, their personal belongings piled up on the ground while they are waiting in queue and registering. According to media reports, at least 13,000 people have crossed the border of Malawi since December 23, when the Supreme Court confirms the governing Mozambique Liberation Front party, Frelimo, its victory. Senior Administrative and Operations Manager of the Department for Refugees, Hilda Kausuwa, says the department is working in cooperation with other security institutions to provide the refugees with access to basic amenities such as education, shelter, and water.
As the Department for Refugees, in collaboration with other security institutions, we are working hand in hand to ensure that we provide access to health, access to education, access to shelter and water and other basic amenities. But we have also ensured and encouraged our security institutions, including the Malawi Defense Force, Immigration and Police, who are to enhance their collaboration and doing joint monitoring to ensure that there is safety and security. The services that we are providing right now are inadequate, and we still call upon partners to support to ensure that we are providing the necessary needs to the communication. As we are going through the verification exercise, we are seeing that there's still a number of individuals that are entering the country.
Malawi's President Lazarus Chakwera has sacked his Defense Minister Harry Makdawire in a mini cabinet reshuffle on New Year's Day. President Chakwera also fired Deputy Education Minister Nancy Ndoko and reassigned other ministers to new portfolios in a move he says is aimed at offering the best service to the country in 2025. The president had come under intense pressure from various sectors of society to fire the defense minister over the manner in which the death of Vice President Saulos Chilema back in June last year in a military plane crash was handled. Chilema and 8 others died in the crash in a forest in the northern part of Malawi in dense fog, and the military had been accused of negligence in terms of organizing search and rescue efforts. Morocco has announced an investment of over 800 million Moroccan dirham, that's approximately $79.29 million, to rebuild and improve its healthcare facilities in the Al Hahouz region. This is the region that was devastated by a powerful earthquake back in September 2023. The Health Ministry addressed the parliamentary session at the House of Councillors on New Year's Day, outlining the government's plan that focuses on repairing, restoring and expanding 195 healthcare facilities that were damaged or impacted by the earthquake. The September 2023 quake killed at least 3,000 victims and left thousands of others homeless, significantly impacting several healthcare institutions in the region. A Congolese military tribunal has sentenced 13 soldiers to death on charges including murder, looting, and cowardice. Military authorities say it is part of a drive to improve army discipline after territorial losses due to soldiers fleeing. Fighting has fled in Lubero territory, and cases of soldiers abandoning their positions have helped the enemy advance. The soldiers were sentenced in the town of Lubero in the DRC's eastern North Kivu province. This is where Congolese forces have been fighting the Rwanda-backed M23 insurgency for nearly 3 years, as well as facing other militia groups. Overall, 24 soldiers stood trial. In addition to those handed death penalties, 4 received 2 to 10-year sentences, 6 were acquitted, and 1's case was deferred for further investigation. All those convicted pleaded not guilty and have 5 days to appeal their sentence. And more tributes are still pouring in for former U.S. President Jimmy Carter, who died on December 29, 2024, at the age of 100. The latest is coming from Nigeria's former president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who was head of state back in 1978 when Mr. Carter first visited Nigeria. While reflecting on his friendship and fond memories shared with the former U.S. president, Chief Obasanjo said the vacuum created is irreplaceable. President Obasanjo was speaking exclusively to Channels Television.
So, he lived up to 100 years. And it doesn't matter how long your friend lives, you still want to have your friend around. That I am alive today President Jimmy Carter contributed to it. The relationship of Nigeria and the U.S. up till today, President Carter made a tremendous contribution. The situation, particularly in the area of decolonization and eradication of apartheid in Africa, he made a significant contribution. And for that reason, I personally feel I've lost a good friend. And I believe that Nigeria has also lost a friend and somebody who understood our country in his lifetime. And Africa has definitely lost an advocate for Africa, a humanitarian, a humanist, if I can put it that way. And the world has lost a man who believes in fairness and justice and equity in the international affairs.
Well, here in Nigeria, Lagos State has welcomed the first babies of the year 2025 across 3 general hospitals in the state. And the government is pledging to further impact the health of women and children with various initiatives.
The cry of a newborn baby is one that expectant mothers look forward to. And for these new mothers, it's music to their ears as they welcome their babies on the first day of January 2025. Some of the hospitals in Lagos State that welcome these precious bundles of joy include the General Hospital, Ikorodu. The family of Mr. and Mrs. Eniola Olaoluwa take the crown of the first baby of the year, with the baby girl delivered at 12:34 a.m.
I give birth around 12:34 a.m. Today, 1st of January 2025, by the grace of God. And the baby is a baby girl, a star baby girl, to the glory of God.
It's just an amazing moment, and it's something I didn't see coming. And I would say we give glory, honor, and adoration back unto God Almighty, who has counted us worthy to be the one, to be the recipient of this year Baby of the Year award. To God alone be the glory.
The wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Bijoke Sanwo-Olu, alongside the Deputy Governor's wife, Oluremi Hamzat, visits several hospitals to receive the babies. The Chief Medical Director commends the state government for the facelift as a hospital which helps the facility offer improved services, especially maternal and child care.
Your Excellency, your unwavering passion and support for the healthcare system and family in Lagos State has given healthcare delivery in the state a quantum leap under this administration, making it a model for other states to rigorously emulate.
State Special Advisor on Health, Dr. Kemi Ogunyemi, says the New Year baby celebration is a tradition that has come to stay and appeals to Lagos residents to register with the State Health Insurance Scheme, Ilera Iko.
I would like to appeal to everyone, to enroll annually with the Lagos State Health Insurance Scheme, to enhance accessibility to quality healthcare services without any socio-economic barrier.
At General Hospital Ifako Ijaye, a set of twins was delivered by Mrs. Mary Osayomi. First baby female delivered at 12:14 a.m., second baby male at 12:15 a.m. And the father of the children is grateful to God for the delivery.
We went for scan, and the result showed that my wife was carrying twins. So then since then, at first we were like, this present economy, twins and all that, so how are we going to? But then we just start to encourage ourselves, and so to God be the glory. It was got to control, and she gave birth today, and here she is. Here we are, appreciating God for the gift of the babies.
For the SSG of Lagos State, the delivery of the first set of twins in Ifako-Ijaye General Hospital signifies double blessings for the state.
The arrival of these twins signifies that this year, 2025, Lagos State and all Lagosians shall have and enjoy all good things of life in double manifold.
Parents of newborn babies do not have to worry about taking their baby for national identity number registration because they can now obtain it before leaving the hospital.
I want to rejoice with the people in Ifako-Ijaye, especially Ifako General Hospital. Thank you to the wonderful team working with their medical director, Dr. Mustafa.
When a child is born in Lagos State, when we do their registration, we give them their NIN. It's not like when they get older, they have to go and kill like us. They get their NIN immediately.
After 8 years of waiting, the Lawal family is happy to have their own bundle of joy.
I'm so overwhelmed. I don't even know what to say. I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy. And I'm really glad. Like, I was the one that gave birth to the first baby of the year.
It's been 8 years. I've been praying so hard to God to have a baby. I wasn't even expecting it this time. But I'm just so happy. I'm speechless for you. I'm speechless. And I really appreciate all what I'm receiving from Lagos State, from the First Lady.
The Lagos State government says it's committed to advancing maternal and child health care in the state. Here's wishing the families of the newborn babies the grace to nurture the latest additions to the families.
And that's it on the program today. Thank you for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde.